I'll preface this by saying I do take 2012 as a message of hope, not as a message of despair. I'm not walking around the world wearing a sandwich board saying the end of the world is nigh. But I also do take it as a wake-up call, an opportunity perhaps for us to change the direction in which we're going. I don't think you have to be, a rocket scientist to look around the world and see that things are going badly wrong, that our civilization stands poised on the edge of an abyss right now. And our governments and the huge, gigantic corporations that really run the world are so invested in spreading fear and hatred and suspicion. Fear, hatred, suspicion, again and again and again. These messages are just churned out at us, dividing us, separating us, setting us against one another. That we're in danger of making that come true. We don't need some blind geological cataclysm. Humanity today is perfectly capable of reducing this whole edifice of civilization to rubble and forcing us, as Plato said about Atlantis, to begin again like children with no memory of what went before. It doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. It doesn't have to be the end of human civilization. We have choice. That is the fundamental thing. I believe that the people of the world need to take power back into their own hands, to take sovereignty over themselves and their own consciousness, to stop handing it over to governments and to huge corporations, and to consider very carefully the direction we go in the future. The antidote to fear and hatred and suspicion is love. If we can simply operate with love towards one another, beginning at the very direct person-to-person level and spreading that out to the level of nations, we don't need to step over the edge of that abyss into cataclysm and into chaos. And when I look around the world today and look at young people in particular, what I see is a tremendous awakening of consciousness. People are no longer prepared to put up with all that crap that has been stuffed down their throats for so long by the powers that be. People are waking up all around the world. You've seen it in the Arab Spring, we see it all over Europe, we see it in America, we see it in the Occupy Wall Street movement, we see it again and again and again. People are not prepared to put up with that bullshit any longer. I take a lot of hope from that. I believe that we are in a dangerous time, but globally there's a tremendous awakening taking place, and what's driving that awakening is love. And this is a crucial thing to remember. Now let's look at that Mayan calendar. The Mayan calendar does not say that the world comes to an end on the 21st of December 2012. What it says is that a great cycle of the human story comes to an end and a new cycle begins. The Mayan calendar is cyclical. It's not a straight line. And what happens on 21st December 2012 is a cycle that has been running according to the Mayan calendar for the last 5,100 years. And that's interesting because 5,100 years is really the period of recognized history, of Orthodox history, that period is coming to an end. But if you follow the Mayan calendar true and look at what it really says, it says immediately a new cycle begins. So I think that we are in a time of great hope and great opportunity. We can't separate ourselves off from the cosmos. We can't separate ourselves off from the earth. We're part of a giant system, and that system is coming to the end of a process. And it's our responsibility now, as free and independent, intelligent human beings, sovereign over our own consciousness, to make the right choices for the future. And if we make those choices, and if we drive those choices with love, not with fear and hatred and suspicion, then I think the future is going to be bright for all of us.
Absolutely, I think that's a great message. And